Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete. ¡Vamos, Argentina!
The performance of Brazil's national team has also overshadowed what has otherwise been a very successful tournament. With few infrastructure problems, endless sunshine, Brazilian hospitality, and some gripping football, the 2014 World Cup is being hailed as one of the best ever.
China is celebrating victory in what it calls the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. For the first time ever, the country is holding a military parade to mark the end of the war, rather than the founding of the Communist Party. The extravaganza involves 12,000 troops and around 500 tanks, missiles, and other pieces of equipment. For the rest of the world, the image of troops, tanks, and nuclear missiles rolling through Tiananmen Square might seem like a somewhat distasteful image for a rising authoritarian military power to send. But China insists this parade is a celebration of peace and is not directed against any country, despite the reference to Japan in the event's official name.
And I suppose it's only fair to say, don't you someday want to see a woman president of the United States of America?
After months of speculation, Hillary Clinton has fired the starting gun on her second bid for the White House as she looks to draw a line under her devastating 2000 defeat to President Barack Obama to become America's first female president. It's a different Hillary Clinton you'll see on the campaign trail, her advisors say. She'll aim to forge a more personal connection with voters, drawing on her experiences not only as former Secretary of State, former First Lady, and former Senator from New York, but also as a wife, a mother, and more recently a grandmother, with the birth of her daughter Chelsea's first child.
But if the boosted board looks geeky, the one wheel, another electric skateboard, looks downright bizarre. Its short board surrounds a single large tyre, which also contains the electric motor and various sensors and gyroscopes to help with balancing. With no remote control, steering is just a matter of leaning the right way, like on a snowboard or a surfboard. I tested it both on and off-road in Golden Gate Park and found it a lot of fun to ride, although perhaps more suitable for messing around at the weekend than the daily commute. At $1,500 a piece, both of these electric skateboards feel like expensive ways to get from A to B. I'm not convinced that they can solve the problems of urban congestion, as boosted boards makers suggest, or even really improve on the humble bicycle as an efficient form of transport.
Thanks to the scouts who are up on a hill, they've helped us spot and track my first rhino of the trip here. And it's right behind me, number 14. And something specific to black rhino is that they're very, very territorial, much more territorial than white rhino. So they need much, much more habitat. And over the fence in Lewa Conservancy, they found that although they have more than 120 rhino, about 60-something of them black rhino, it's now putting a lot of pressure on the habitat. Whereas here on this side of Burana, they've got 19 black rhino for 32,000 acres. And they know that eventually they can support something like 45. So if all goes well, the numbers will come up.
A clue of quite how territorial they are came when she charged moments later. But their tempers are no match for poachers. 59 of Kenya's rare black rhino were killed last year, double the number the year before.
The Philippines demonstrated its passionate blend of Catholicism as Pope Francis was greeted by millions of devotees during his 5-day trip to the Asian country. He concluded his trip on Sunday with a mass at Manila's Rizal Park in front of a crowd estimated to number 6 million people. The crowd, many of whom had camped out overnight in spite of the rain, reveled at the chance to celebrate Mass with the spiritual leader of the Catholic Church. The Mass was dedicated to the victims of Typhoon Haiyan, which killed thousands of people and left hundreds homeless in 2013.
The glamorous actresses and burly actors of Bollywood are idolized in India, a country where daily life involves struggle and abject poverty for many. Perhaps it's inevitable then that many film stars graduate into the world of politics, using their fame to win votes. But remember, this isn't a peculiarly Indian concept. Ronald Reagan had a very different career before he became President of the United States of America. And before he became Governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger was better known as the Terminator.
After decades as the laggard of Asia, the Philippines has become one of the fastest growing economies in the region.
We think that the Philippines economy is a good spot at the moment. We've seen improved business confidence, largely the result of investment grade ratings that have been given by the credit agencies. We've seen business confidence improve as a result of some upgrades in competitive indices and some other areas where we're seeing general governance improving in the country, which again is encouraging businesses to invest, is encouraging this kind of growth.
A combination of solid macroeconomic management, strong remittances from overseas workers, and the birth of a large back-office industry has propelled the country to faster growth. To cap it all, with half the population under 25, the country is now entering a demographic sweet spot. Unlikely as it seems, the Philippines could soon be growing faster than China.
But not everything is going the Philippines' way. Investment levels are pitifully low, and job creation is lagging growth. Poverty and unemployment remain all too familiar aspects of daily life.
Shanghai has had a cult of tall buildings for decades. But now the city also has a cult of green buildings too. The view from the top leaves no doubt why China needs to reach for green. Even on a day as clear as this one, you can't see much from the 118th floor, where the observation deck will be. There's just too much pollution in the way. When it opens next year, the Shanghai Tower will be nearly twice the height of the Eiffel Tower. But it's not meant to be just another municipal vanity project. It was designed to satisfy the U.S. Green Building Council's LEED Gold standard, an internationally recognized benchmark for sustainability. One of the key features is that it's built like a giant thermos flask.
Film artists see short films as a liberating format where they can experiment and push their own creative boundaries, free from commercial pressures.
Like, I've dabbled in everything. I've even done art, and I had an art show in 2008. And every time it boils down to trying to be, trying to show some integrity to what I want to say. Film is not an option, because the minute I write a script that I want to make, the first person I meet, the producer, says, okay, this will have to be, diluted a little. It can't be this dark over here. We might have to put in a song over here. So the integrity starts taking a beating from the first day you start. So what this particular medium of short films allows is that artistic integrity, which feature films, no matter how cheap, no matter how artistic or parallel that film, it's still going to have someone tell you how to do it.
India is one of the world's fastest growing markets for smartphones and other devices, and the explosion of access to digital media could be a fantastic opportunity for short films to make their mark. The question is whether success for short films will be limited to the critical acclaim they get at the moment, or if the format can bring the same returns for investors as their big brothers from Bollywood.